we try to infuse.
Oh, hey guys! Totally missed you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to Café con Gas, a show that brings dialogue alive on all issues. Let me just pause this. On all issues related to diversity, healing, and arts. I'm really excited to be here today. I was just bike riding over and just reflecting on the warm weather, and I just feel sun-kissed right now, and this is my natural element, so I'm really excited. My BeLive neighbor, who does the hostess of Calahoo Express, she also has returned from vacation, so it was nice to see her as well. So everything is going really well. So yeah, without further ado, let's go into the emotional check-in. Hold on one second. So basically, let's see what's going on. I'm feeling a little bit exhausted. Allergies really suck. So I'm kind of angry about that, but not hysterical, but kind of frustrated. But sad no longer because the sun is really out. So that's kind of what I'm feeling today. I'm just really excited to be here. Again, I just think that CCTV is such a really awesome outlet. I was actually reflecting with my friend who brought me into the studio for the first time, Melissa Huser. Shout out to her. She's an amazing dancer who's been studying Odissi for almost 12 years now. She's just really talented. She has a really great spirit. So she came with me to CCTV. We both had some ideas, and she was always particularly enthusiastic and supportive about me doing a show and sharing my thoughts and emotional check-ins with a broader audience. So I came into the studio with her, and we had all these ideas for skits and Café con Gas. And Susan, the ED, executive director of CCTV, was there, and she let us in. And it was a really beautiful experience because she definitely said and reassured us that anything is possible. So that's a really powerful message. So in the name of healing, arts, and diversity, I talk about cognitive diversity, spiritual diversity. I'm going to play a Buddha video based on the Soka Gakkai International and a book that's out by Clark Strand called Waking the Buddha. He studied a lot of varieties of Buddhism, and he remarks that the discussion group structure of the SGI is something that really fosters community and is really incredible. He also talks about how Buddhism, with the SGI, it was modernized in Japan versus brought over and then tried to modernize here. So it had really strong roots and a foundation. And I thought this was really moving, and I thought it was so moving that I actually made it the subject of my final project for one of my classes. And I wanted to share this clip with you guys because oftentimes I come in, I do Café con Gas, I prepare materials right now. Or earlier today, I was posting on my Facebook page, a little bit of an update on prior videos. But anyways, I was just really excited to actually have the time to bundle something for you guys. So I really hope you enjoy this. The clips are taken from SGI USA Media. Check them out on YouTube for full-length interviews. The editing work was done by me, and I hope you guys enjoy the clips. So let's see, without further ado.
Probably sometime in the 1990s. I was
Oh.
I first encountered the Soka Gakkai probably sometime in the 1990s.
All right, so we're gonna cue that up again. I'm sorry for the shaky beginning. All right, let's go.
First encountered the Soka Gakkai probably sometime in the 1990s. I was the editor of Tricycle, the Buddhist Review. And I could tell that the SGI was doing something right that nobody else was quite getting. They figured something out about how to practice modern religion. They figured out a way to modernize Buddhism that no one else had quite grasped yet.
I thought winning America's Next Top Model would lead to lasting happiness for the rest of my life. But soon thereafter, I fell into a really dark and deep depression. And I realized that I needed something much more profound, and I found that in Nichiren Buddhism. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. My name is m.i.a, and I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. My parents are avant-garde jazz musicians and hippies as well, and they were practicing Nichiren Buddhism when I was born. So I've been chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo my whole life.
My name is Michelle Ju, and I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I, have a very small nuclear family, an older brother and a younger sister, and my parents. We grew up in the suburbs, really quiet. Because of my older brother who has Down syndrome, we were very isolated. It was really just, our family, and that's it.
So I won America's Next Top Model, and it was this really huge, big, life-changing event, and I was like diving headfirst into this really huge, big career, and all of these things were just like so overwhelming, and I began going out and partying. I was always at red carpet events. I feel like I really began to spiral out of control and spiral really downwards into a very dark place.
That's when I reached out to a young man who I met just once at the LA Friendship Center, the Buddhist Center. I couldn't even look him in the eyes and just kept asking, why me? Like, why am I born to this family? And why is this so difficult? Why is life so hard? I just couldn't understand. He really just, with such compassion, was like, you chose this. You chose to be born to these parents at this time, because this is a lesson that you need to learn in order to transform your family karma. I had never heard anything like that somehow I chose this. Everything seemed it was predestined. What he basically told me was that this is what Buddhism is. Buddhism teaches you that all living beings have this Buddha nature, this inherent potential inside, and I'm just like, what? Like, it was seriously the most revolutionary concepts I'd ever heard. I've never ever looked at life from that perspective. That's what I've devoted my life to for the last 10 years, is really studying the law of the universe. I have been able to make a career as a musician, as a violinist, and travel the world, and all sorts of stuff that I thought was beyond anything that I'd be able to do.
So that is the video. I hope you guys really like that content. Again, a lot of the footage is taken from STI USA Media, and there's a website, actually there is a documentary being developed called Buddhists in America, and I would encourage you to check it out, because some of the words that were shared were just so profound, and I think they really just embody a lot of like what Café con Gas is about, and in terms of healing, arts, and diversity, giving people tools to discover their own Buddha nature in lay setting. And I think it's really, really cool. So yeah, so anyways, spring has sprung all of a sudden. There's just a lot going on outside, which is really, really exciting. And I actually wanted to show you guys a couple things. Let me just pull up a clip right now. Actually, I'm just gonna switch this. All right, I'm gonna pull up a clip right now. And here we go. Okay, great. All right, awesome. So this is kind of what's going on the internet. I'm really, really excited. So Somerville Arts Council. Somerville and Cambridge are neighbors. They both have really awesome art initiatives. Somerville also has a public access channel, and I just wanted to shout out one of the public access TV shows. It's hosted by the Cambridge Violence Overcome VOV, something program. I can't, yeah, just look it up. Go on to Somerville. Public Access TV, and I think you'll find some really, really cool things there. And I just wanted to shout out another neighbor and Public Access TV, because actually recently, mostly because I submitted Café con Gas. Let's just go to let's say YouTube Café con Gas. I submitted Café con Gas for a Hometown Media Award, and I'm really excited because on my YouTube channel there's 136 views for my first show, and I'm just really excited and just really happy that you're all, sharing that opportunity and moment with me. So thank you for that. But anyways, so I was like shouting out Somerville, and Somerville also has an arts council. There's Cambridge River Fest that's coming up, and there's also Porch Fest that's coming up on Saturday. Porch Fest is a really fantastic thing, and it's an event. It's on Saturday, May 17th from noon to 6 p.m. And you just log in and you can look at map and band listing, and you have actual live bands hosting different shows on their porches. So I thought this was like a really awesome thing that really fostered community. I'm totally for it. And here's like a map right there. And let me just also pull up Cambridge River Festival. And this is also happening, Cambridge River Festival. It's free to the public. It's happening on June 7th in Mass Ave City Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's for all ages, and I'm just really excited. The summertime is really like the time that people congregate and we talk about community, and we just kind of like come together, and I think that's you know, everybody kind of like gets out. There's a really great dance party in Central Square that I know is hosted all year long, and you just like really run into other people in the community, and I think that's really great. So these are two really awesome events that you can check out. And speaking of events that you can check out, let's go over to my Instagram. I'm gonna be really cheesy for a second, because to be honest, you know, I was born in a time that MTV actually played like music videos, and I got really excited. So like part of me is also, I don't know, part of me is really just also excited to bring you guys art, you know, music, art. And this is why I'm bringing on my Instagram, because, shoot, let me see if I can find it. Anyways, this is why I'm bringing on my Instagram, because I actually have a picture of my, let's see, Instagram.com/Café. No. All right. So screw that. So anyways, yeah, just screw that. So anyway, so like on my Instagram, I had a picture of m.i.a, and I was really excited for that because I actually got to go see her in concert last Monday with my roommate, and it was just like such an incredible experience. The only thing that was weird about my experience is that A$AP Ferg sucked. I'm gonna say it like right now. We're actually gonna like, hold on one second. m.i.a, I'm just like pulling this up on the computer. Let me pull up this picture. I'm just gonna pull up one of my favorite pictures of m.i.a. I'm just like waiting for this to upload really quick. All right, view image. We're gonna just like zoom in right there. All right, so I'm gonna go back to, all right, check this out. Okay. So, all right, here we go. So anyways, so this is m.i.a. Oh, like, oh, they're up here. All right, m.i.a. This is one of my favorite pictures of m.i.a. We saw her live in concert at the House of Blues. The House of Blues is an interesting venue. I'm gonna use like my free speech right now to say that I was a little bit upset because the bouncer didn't let me get on stage, and then like two people like crept on stage in the middle, but that's my only complaint. Otherwise, like, good venue. This is m.i.a, folks. This is her performing live at the, I believe, the MTV Music Video Awards. I don't know which number it is, but obviously that's Jay-Z in the background. That's Lil Wayne touching m.i.a's pregnant belly. This woman's 42 years old, guys. I mean, this is worth mentioning on Café on all fronts. I mean, arts, diversity, women in music. It seems to be more of a rarity that I actually see women in music who aren't like trying to look younger, who are aging gracefully, who are allowing themselves to age. I feel like the public, I feel like sometimes like women can get like lost in that process and not granted that time to really age naturally on television. And I think that's something that's really unfortunate. I think you should evolve, and I think we should also like take the time to emotionally check in with ourselves and like, what does fashion mean to you? What do colors mean to you? I mean, for me, fashion and dress are like a form of expression, and I think that's also why I enjoyed the m.i.a concert. And one of the things that I did notice is that I totally dressed up. I wore like flowers in my hair. I was really excited. I was just like, I wanted a good like reciprocity between the artist and the audience. So I kind of went all out, and it was just really interesting because A$AP Ferg performed before, and you can notice by the little like tilt of my neck that like I didn't really care for A$AP Ferg. Essentially, excuse me. Let me just pull up this picture right here. All right, so essentially, like, this is A$AP Ferg, Daryl Ferguson, blah, 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 1988, like, So anyways, it just like talks about his like early life. He launched a clothing line. That's great. That's wonderful. But just like basically when he came on stage, all he did was like scream expletives. And that was really offensive. I just think that was like really offensive. He came in and he was like, you know, he just like kind of just did this, and then he like sprayed the bottle all over the place and just like yelled out, you know, the BITCH word, hose a lot. And I think it was like, I was just with a friend of mine and everything that came out of his mouth was really derogatory. And I can understand how that could work perhaps somewhere else, but like in the audience, it didn't really work at all. So like we were really all upset. But at the same time, as we're watching this like horrible performance, this guy walks by and he's walking with like a feather. And I was like, m.i.a fan, someone who dressed up for the event as well. So there was like solidarity in the crowd, and we got through that experience with A$AP Ferg, which was pretty awful. And then we like really enjoyed the show, and m.i.a came on, and that was really great. And one of the things she said, she was like, okay, so I'm in Boston, one of like the smartest cities in the entire world. She's like, don't come to this concert just to look at me like looking at the other. Come to the concert because like everyone is just one. And I think that was a really, really powerful message. And I really, really like that. And that just, I don't know, that just really moved me, and it's something I want to continue to do. And part of my love and interest in music, also part of like what I call like the intersection, right? Like you have different parts of your life. The intersection of my life is that I really love music and I really love dancing. And sometimes that's really hard for me because I'm really sensitive, and I don't necessarily like going to like a totally intoxicated environment or like a violent environment to listen to music. So that's also really hard. There was some like crowd pushing. There was some like just like waves of people, like, you know, it's just like a little bit scary. But I think one of the things that I would just like recommend the most, one of the things that I would highlight the most is that m.i.a really conserved her energy. And I think that was really beautiful. Like throughout the show, she basically kind of like gave it to the audience, and then she like, you know, sat back and like kind of jumped in with her dancers a little bit, but let them do the work. So that was really dope. So anyways, like live on music, mad love for DJs. I want to play this like house inspired track. Just kind of like sit back, imagine like, just imagine I'm in the flat in Paris that I've always dreamed of, and enjoy this track. I'm going to play something new and continue going. And essentially, as much as I do love music, I don't want to be around violence. I want to live a violence-free life. And I think that's like the message I'm conveying. So in that spirit, like enjoy this track. It's by Zoo. And I'm going to cue it up right now. So obviously, as you're listening to this track, you can see all the comments too.
That's why I'm always holding you so close. Baby, you say that I'm the one. That's why I'm always holding you so close.
All right, guys, that was something a little bit different and wonderful, but let's take a pause and think about something for a second. What an image to go with the song, right? This is a really great track. I love house music. If you're in New York City, check out Le Passion Rouge, Funk Box in the basement. It's amazing. You'll see B-boys, B-girls, you'll see gongas, you'll enjoy. But I'm loving this song and I'm jamming out to the song. And when I'm on YouTube, the majority of the song covers that I find are women's butts and things that are really inappropriate. And this one in particular was like a woman, you know, being tied up. So it's incredible. I love the music, but I also think like consistently, it's really hard to find a dance space that isn't like a cute, like overtly like sexualized, you know, like I've had dialogues. I've had my 10-year-old brother ask me, like, why is Miley Cyrus doing all that stuff? Why is she naked on top of a wrecking ball? And I've actually engaged in that type of dialogue. And we've had really good dialogue about what's going on in the internet. And this is actually something that's really important. And I believe it's like internet safety. And a part of those things are just like you run into, you know, predators on the internet, or you just run into like, you're constantly bombarded with like sexual and violent images that it's, what are you going to do? What are you going to really do with your life? And I think that's going to transition into something I haven't done in a while, and I'm going to talk about a book. And the book that really means a lot to me is one that I'm going to queue up right now. And yeah, it's The Filter Bubble. The Filter Bubble by Ellie Pariser. And I'm really digging this book. This book is actually a really great find that I found in 2009. And yeah, so it talks about essentially why I'm bringing it up is because I talk about inner safety, right? So I jammed out, and I'm going to do an emotional check-in right now, okay? I jammed out, and I don't know. I'm just feeling like, you know, like I had a really great time, but I'm also kind of like frustrated about this because, you know, and a little bit ashamed that like I enjoyed that type of song, and I also like don't want to contribute to like constant sexualization of women on the internet. I think we all have a shared space, and we can use a lot of images to make the internet beautiful. And I think making it beautiful isn't just about like being frivolous, but something that I want to talk about like at the beginning of the show is that I showed you a video. Let's really face it, guys, like I'm in the midst of my finals. So I showed you that video, and part of like what I'm talking about and part of like art is something that philosophers call an aesthetic experience. So the video that I made was the application of using a tool to use creating organic intellectuals from the base, right? So in this class, I learned about Kant and Marx, and I was a Harvard Extension School student working during the day. So these things were really challenging to me. So I was learning about all these theorists, and Gramsci happened to talk about something when he talks about the dominating culture being cultural hegemony. So that's like the dominating cultural class and what they think. And I think a lot of that is that people think it's okay to act like this on the internet and constantly sexualize women. And I think that's a dominating part of that's not really working really well. So what I had to show is artists who are counteracting that, and these two artists who had an incredible story, a model, a singer, a violinist, and also a Buddhist, gave a really wonderful experience. So I realized in this trajectory and in these finals, it's the book that I wanted to talk about, and this book is called The Filter Bubble. And I'm going to just switch to the doc cam really quick, and I'm going to show you this. All right, so Ellie Pariser, it's The Filter Bubble, and I just wanted to kind of share something with you guys that was really moving to me and kind of just really captures this multi-sensorial experience that we're feeling. Not only are we multicultural, but we're becoming multi-sensorial. And I think it's important to take a pause and kind of just analyze that for a second. So in the introduction, Ellie Pariser writes, the filter bubble, which he talks about Google filters, data tracking, the internet being filtered according to your interests and likes, right? But in the type of internet way, when Amazon follows you kind of way, right? So he talks about the filters' costs are both personal and cultural. There are direct consequences for those of us who are personalized filters, and soon most of us will realize it or not. And there's societal consequences which emerge when masses of people begin with the filter bubble. They begin to live with the filter bubbled life. One of the best ways to understand how filters shape our individual experience is to think in terms of our information diet. A sociologist, Dana Boyd, said in a speech in the 2009 Web2O Expo, our bodies are programmed to consume fat and sugars because they're rare in nature. In the same way, we're biologically programmed to be attentive to things that stimulate, content that is gross, violent, or sexual, and that gossip which is humiliating, embarrassing, or offensive. If we're not careful, we're going to develop the psychological equivalent of obesity. We'll find ourselves consuming content that is least beneficial for ourselves and society as a whole. I mean, this is just really great work. We're talking about what do you consume. I want to consume music, but what kind of images do I want to associate with that music? I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to take some more. I'm going to create some more. And I'm going to do emotional check-ins through this process because growth is really interesting and can be awkward or embarrassing, but it's definitely worth it. And yeah, guys, check in. And thank you for tuning in with Café con Gas. Have a great night. And